6ix9ine will be released early for his safety due to the publicity around his case. Stay tuned as we reveal exactly when. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Yo, I'm so happy to be home. I can't wait to see my baby. I can't wait to see my daughter.
Release imminent.
Hinting at her boyfriend's prison release date. In a since-deleted caption, 6ix9ine's Ride or Die indicated he'd be home by January 2020.
So let's ask ourselves the honest question here. Is 6ix9ine honestly really close to getting released from jail? If you recall, he's been in prison since November of 2018 after being arrested by the FBI, so he honestly has been jailed for a year, and that can do a lot of things to a person. However, due to the plea deal that we'll detail later, that tenure may just be up. What's more, it may be up within a month or so. You see, originally 6ix9ine's sentencing hearing for the crimes that he had to plead guilty to in order to get the deal in the first place was supposed to take place in 2020. Due in thanks to his help in bringing some bad people in from the 9 Treys, he got that to move up to December 2019.
But will likely receive a reduced sentence for his cooperation. His sentencing was moved up and is now set for December 2019.
What's more, he is expected to get a lot of leniencies. How much leniency exactly? That remains to be seen, but it could be that he gets released before the end of the year, or by the first 2 months of 2020. It all just depends on factors that have yet to be played out. And you can bet that when it comes to those odds, they're on the mind of 6ix9ine right now, and he's hoping that those odds definitely swing in his favor.
It's just weeks after 6ix9ine testified against his former associates, Anthony Harv Ellison and Aljamiah Nuke Mack of the 9 Trey Bloods.
Because that would mean he's only got a little bit to go in order to get out of jail. So let's take a stab, shall we? What are the odds that 6ix9ine gets an imminent release? Say a month or two after his sentencing hearing. That's a fair imminent release, don't you think? The odds are about 60-40 in favor of him getting out early. I know that may seem like almost even odds, but when you consider where he was a year ago, and that he was likely to serve life in prison if he was convicted of the many acts that the FBI had loads of evidence against him on.
Racketeering, with Harv catching a separate charge for kidnapping 6ix9ine in July 2018. They both are looking at years behind bars.
Yeah, that would have been a sentence that he wouldn't have wanted in any life, no matter how much he likes to play the hardcore street person. So to go from 0% of getting out in a year or so to having 60-40 odds, that's a pretty big swing in his favor. Whether that happens or not is still up in the air, but it's a start for him, and that's all anyone can ask for. Why the potential secret release? I know it may seem odd that anyone in this day and age could be secretly released from prison, especially if they're the person who has any remote of celebrity attached to them. Between fans, the paparazzi, and this thing called the internet, just about anyone is open 24/7 to spying, photos, and location updates, and a lot of people live for those kind of moment-to-moment updates. Thus, you have to wonder why anyone would try to do a secret exit when it's likely impossible to have it happen. Simple, because 6ix9ine isn't just a celebrity, he's a celebrity with a potential target on his head. And by potential, I mean there are definitely people coming after him. Who exactly is coming after him? That would be the 9 Trey Bloods, a group that 6ix9ine was once heavily associated with until he betrayed them to get a lesser prison sentence. He was really tight with them. They gave him his rap career in many respects, via influence, street cred, that kind of thing. And in return, 6ix9ine gave them money and other perks from the music career he got. So you'd expect him to be loyal to them to a fault. Except that isn't what happened at all. Instead, after he and a bunch of other 9 Trey Bloods got arrested, he went and got an offer from the FBI for a plea deal, and that led to him betraying all the 9 Trey Bloods that he could.
In Texas, I fired everybody in my team. I got no manager, I got no booking agent, no PR, no public. I don't got nobody on my team.
And he did that a lot, so much so that he got the nickname Snitch9. As anyone who knows anything about the rap world knows, loyalty is everything, especially when you're part of a group that helps you out, bails you out of a jam, and goes to town for you when the time is right. And to their credit, the 9 Trey Bloods were definitely that to 6ix9ine. The problem is that 6ix9ine didn't care. He only cares about himself, so he ratted them out to get out of jail. Fast forward to now, many 9 Trey Bloods members are behind bars, sentenced to many years in prison, or something in between, and 6ix9ine is going to be walking free potentially in the next few months. Not exactly the fair trade one would hope for from a brother of the group. So because of that, many people are expecting the 9 Trey Bloods to come after 6ix9ine in a very permanent sense. And that is one of the big reasons for the belief that they are going to try and release 6ix9ine quietly, or as quietly as possible, when and if he gets released. Because if it becomes public knowledge when and where 6ix9ine will get released, then it'll lead very likely to a violent incident on the streets, or possibly even right in front of the prison, which no one wants, not even 6ix9ine haters. 9 Trey Bloods excluded. So the court's only option is to try to get him out of jail and into the public eye in a discreet way, so that he may be safe for a time. Of course, there is the other option. Could 6ix9ine be held in jail for longer? If we're looking at this case from the legal perspective, the judge that is about to do the ruling on 6ix9ine has a very tough decision on his plate. For on one hand, 6ix9ine did complete the terms of his plea deal to the best of his ability, which goes to show you just how much he really didn't want to go to prison. But on the other hand, there is no doubt that 6ix9ine is guilty of other crimes that the FBI arrested him for. And as I mentioned, he already pled guilty to those. Not to mention he has a long history with the law that doesn't paint him as the unwilling participant in these various crimes. So what can the judge do? Well, the obvious answer, or maybe should I call it the 6ix9ine answer, is just to release him or give him a release within a month or two of the hearing that's coming up. That is well within their rights to do, and that would give 6ix9ine his freedom. But, and this is the important part, that is not a guarantee. In fact, it's never been a guarantee. That's just what 6ix9ine and his various team members have been saying will happen due to his good behavior, when in fact the judge, prosecutors, and everyone else attached to this case has made no such promises. Also, it's important to note that the 6ix9ine team also said that they felt he would get out in September of 2019, and we're way past that, so clearly their knowledge of things to come isn't 100%. Getting back to the judge, a very plausible and downright possible option for them to rule is that they could say that while 6ix9ine has done things to the letter of the plea deal and thus won't get a life sentence, or a maximum sentence like it was originally suggested, he could still get time. Recall that he had to plead guilty to several charges. Those are in effect to the extent that he could be punished for that and his previous afflictions due to them showing a pattern of bad behavior. How long are we talking here? Maybe a year or two, no more than 5 depending on the judge's feelings on the matter. That would mean 1 to 5 years without 6ix9ine, which would definitely throw a monkey wrench in his future plans. So the judge does have power here, and that power could either grant 6ix9ine what he wants or put a stop to his dreams of being free in the immediate future. It's honestly really hard to tell just which way this will go because there are a lot of ways that this could go. With that being said, we can see the paths and then count down the days until we find out which path it takes. Of course, we can also look at how we got to these paths in the first place. Did you want to win any of these items on the screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right back into the video. 6ix9ine's arrest by the FBI.
Actually a cool kid. And, you know, unfortunately, he got a serious situation on his hands, man, and I try to warn him.
Before there could be a sentencing hearing, or before there was a plea deal, there was 6ix9ine getting arrested along with members of his street crew in the 9 Trey Bloods on November 18th, 2018, a day that set the rap world on fire for more reasons than you might expect, and a catalyst for the next year's worth of rap stories about what the group did, what 6ix9ine did, what 6ix9ine said to get himself out of the situation, and more. For those who don't know, the 9 Trey Bloods are a notorious group in New York who deal with all sorts of illegal properties and enterprises. To that end, 6ix9ine was not only just helping them with those enterprises, but he was also leading them in certain ways. But the tipping point for many was when he started to blab to the world at large that he was a member of the 9 Trey Bloods, including singing about it in many songs that he made and having some of the Bloods be in his music videos. His constant yammering about what he was doing with the group, in non-specific terms obviously, was what tipped the FBI off that he might just be the person they need to look into to find dirt on the group. The FBI likes to take out groups like these so that they won't be on the street anymore. So this was an opportunity that they couldn't ignore. And trust me, they didn't. They bided their time, got warrants for wiretaps, the ability to search places for evidence, and etc. By the time November 2018 had come around, the FBI was not only loaded for 6ix9ine with the evidence, but they also had the ability to charge them on many counts, including racketeering, conspiracy, illegal enterprise, distribution of illegal substances, and much, much more. And to be clear, the charges that were put against the group were for the whole group, not just the individual members for certain crimes. Eventually, the FBI made the arrest and took a lot of dangerous people off the streets. The problem was that while they did have a lot of evidence against the 9 Trey Bloods and 6ix9ine, they needed something a little more than just that. Now I know that sounds weird, but sometimes the evidence just isn't enough. They needed a confession, or better yet, a snitch. 6ix9ine, the snitch.
His murder case, he wasn't looking at all the years I was looking at, but he beat his case. Like, blood, I'm trying to be out.
Let me lay something out for you. When it comes to groups, whether it be business partners, singing groups, or street groups, one of the things that you would hope to get from the others in your party is loyalty. Loyalty to each other. Whatever you want to define it as, it should be there. The difference is that in business, the goal is often money or power, so betrayals happen all the time. In things like music groups, the loyalty is there until you hit it big. Then you have to choose whether to stay with the group or go solo with your newfound fame and try to make it big like Justin Timberlake. So again, betrayal is expected depending on the people involved. But when it comes to the street groups in the rap community, of which 6ix9ine is a part of both, the need for loyalty isn't just a request, it's a necessity. The loyalty of the groups can make or break a dynamic. The loyalty of the groups can make or break a dynamic and of course keep someone out of jail. So when it comes right down to it, you expect someone in your crew to have your back when you go to jail and you're offered the prisoner's dilemma. If none of you talk, then you have to go with the evidence, which can be taken in several different ways. And when the FBI had to figure out how to put the final nail in the 9 Trey Bloods that they had, they knew exactly where to look. 6ix9ine. Because they knew based on everything that he had done and everything that he had said, plus the fact that he fired his street crew a few weeks before the arrest, that he wasn't on the best terms with the group. 6ix9ine has a knack for doing things that's best for him and not for everyone else. So the FBI knew that if they could flip him, he would be what they needed to get things done. And they were right, because he flipped, and quite quick. The plea deal that will set him free.
6ix9ine was famously arrested in November 2018 and turned state's witness a day later.
So what exactly is the plea deal that 6ix9ine signed that is going to get him released more than likely? Well, the amount of charges that were put against him in the 9 Trey Bloods was staggering. So much so that 2 different charges had life sentences. And when it comes right down to it, 6ix9ine was likely to be charged with at least one of them, if not both, based on the evidence the FBI had compiled. So when the FBI came to 6ix9ine, they made him an offer he almost literally couldn't refuse, because they promised to take the 2 life sentences off the table, and as a bonus he couldn't be charged the maximum of 47 years for all the other charges, or even get close to that number should he be given more jail time, hence the likelihood of him maybe getting 5 years at the worst. All he needed to do in return was snitch on the other members of the 9 Trey Bloods, specifically the ones that were arrested with him on that night in November. He would need to help get their convictions by any legal means, meaning evidence and testimony, so that they could be put away. In February, he signed the plea deal and agreed to be a snitch, and by September 2019, he was basically a one-man wrecking crew in regards to taking down the 9 Trey Bloods. From his former manager to his bodyguards, to even the godfather of the group, 6ix9ine got dirt to the FBI on every single one of them, and while some are awaiting their own sentencing hearings, they have all been convicted of various crimes. Some even took smaller, not rat plea deals to ensure that they could get as little jail time as possible. Some of them even pleaded with the judge to try and get a few years off their sentence. It worked at times, and it didn't in others. One of them is even trying to argue lesser time because he has a, quote, lesser IQ. As if that wasn't enough, 6ix9ine even went to court in September 2019 and decided to let it all hang out by accusing other people of being members of the group, even stating that Cardi B was a blood. She is, and she isn't for the record. She's part of another group called Bloods, but not the 9 Trey Bloods. There is quite a significant difference in that. So he did his job and his crew is mostly put away, and he gave evidence and details to the FBI and other prosecutors to try and take the other members off the streets, all of which has endeared him to the court so that he might just get out soon. The countdown clock. So there it is up to now. The clock is ticking and 6ix9ine is anxiously waiting to be released from prison. Whether he will be released now or whether he'll be released later is unclear at present. However, things are moving at a brisk pace. People on both sides of this equation are trying to figure out what to do before, during, and after the sentencing hearing in case things don't go their way. For example, if the judge rules against getting 6ix9ine out immediately, his lawyers are likely to appeal and we'll have to see where that goes. If he does get granted release in the near future, people on the prosecution side or even lawyers who want to charge 6ix9ine with something else might just come forward and take action to do something. It's hard to tell right now. But no matter what happens, the clock continues to tick, and as we wait for it to get even closer to the hearing, we can't help but wonder what's going to happen next. Will he be released? Will he be jailed some more? Or will something else happen to change the way we think of things? Only time will tell. But that being said, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the potential release time frame of 6ix9ine and everything that went into it. Do you think that 6ix9ine will get released before the end of the year? Or do you think that 6ix9ine might just get a longer sentence? Do you have another version of this ending? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Be sure to subscribe. I'm King Trending, and I'll see you next time.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.